Now what we've done up to this point is really set Nick up for the art of actually hitting the golf ball. Now, if Nick could just take the club to the top there, it is a very difficult job to try to piece your downswing together. Things happen so quickly. In any event, what actually happens, as the golf club is going back, some part of the body is actually going forward. So there really isn't a distinction between backswing and downswing, as a lot of people like to make out. But what we will do is to show you and describe to you what does happen, and through a few drills there, you'll be able to feel what takes place in your downswing. So Nick, at this point, certainly has completed his backswing. Now, I'm going to just shorten Nick's swing just a little bit, because to put this in sort of real terms, as Nick is completing, his lower body will be starting to move forward in the opposite direction. In other words, the weight is starting to move to the left side here. And this is initiated with the lower body, the left knee starts its movement forward. And as you can see, what happens here, the hands and arms drop down to a point where they get to about a hip height position. From here on, Nick's body will then rotate through towards the target. You can see his impact position here. His weight now is into his left side. It's going around behind his left heel, pretty much the same way as it was going back. The downswing you can think of as a mirror image of the backswing. Now from here, as Nick clears his left side out of the way, his right side now comes through into a position where he finishes up in balance there, his weight fully into his left side and then facing the target. You can see here Nick's hips are facing the target and his weight is now virtually 100% into his left side, and he's in a nice balanced position.
For the slightly more advanced players, what actually happens at the top with the arms to create this leverage and this power that we get, as everything is pulling, as David was saying, as I start to get to the top, I'm pulling here. Also what happens is you get a re-rotation of the arms. They're actually pulling back this way, which drops the club onto this slightly flatter plane, which enables you to maintain this wrist set that we talked about, and you can pull the club as hard as you like now into this position. The right side has retained back a little bit. We're not trying to leap forward with the legs. The right side is staying passive to this position here. I've managed to pull the club down. Now I'm in a perfect position here. The club has come from inside. I can now release the body and holding through as the arms rotate into impact, square into impact, and I can squeeze the ball away, and then I let this left side fold. Very much as the right side is folded on the backswing, I let the left side fold on the way through, which keeps the club head moving through as quickly as possible into that balanced finish.
We have a little drill here that Nick will show you with the beach ball.
Put it another way. Yeah, as I quickly explained about the arm rotation, this ball will hopefully show it a little easier with how the colours will change. As I take it away, my arms are rotating round a little bit. You see how there, and as I go up into that position. Now, as I start down, you can see how this is pulling back in a re-rotation before it then starts to return back into the shot, into impact. And then it will rotate through again, which is proving, as you've seen, that the same colour in the same place, that I'm starting off in a square position, I'm square at the top, and I'm square coming back down, and then back into impact, square position. And as you can see it going through, I'm square. I'm not trying to roll things over. As you can see, the colour is now facing down. I'm turning there, back down into impact, and around into a square position, and which is also going to keep this right wrist in the same position all the way through the swing. Up to the top, back into impact, and then round to the follow-through. Again, simply all I'm trying to do is create some leverage in my knees and then my hips. I turn my shoulders fully, but then I start to resist my leg action here, my hips here. As I'm almost reaching the full 90-degree turn, you can see that the lower half of the body is now pulling, is pushing this way. You actually get the impression that I'm pulling this way, out to the right of the target, and that will then in turn drop the right shoulder into the correct position. So that the club turns on plane, but then to get back onto plane, I get this sort of lifting action. The left shoulder's got to come up. It mustn't stay down, otherwise we get this over-the-top action. we pull in up, which is dropping the club down in this position, and then I'm free to go through. It's very important that we get the body to pull the arms into position rather than trying to put the arms into a position by simply learning to turn. Another one is the club across your chest, the same thing, turning here and then turning through. By doing this, the arms have got to follow. It's impossible for them to go in any other direction. There we go.
You'll find that the actual inertia of the golf club keeps the club on the right track there. We see so many golfers obviously trying to get to the top of the swing there and trying to hit the ball from the top there, as opposed to using the body correctly and really letting the ball get in the way of the swing, as opposed to trying to hit at the ball.
Another little drill we've got, which is quite difficult for some of the players we'll find, but we use a towel and we place it under our armpits so it restricts the arms from wandering all over the place on the backswing. It enables us to stay together here. Now, I recommend for the not so advanced golfers that you do this without a ball to start with and just get the feeling of a light pressure, obviously, which is needed to hold the towel up. If your arms come away from the body, you're going to drop the towel. So we keep that there, and I just want you to get the feeling of turning, which will help everything turn together. And you can go all the way up. I've got a 9-iron here. That's all I recommend you use. And just turn just 3/4 of the way up and then through. And you can see what it is doing on the follow through, how it's tucking me in. There. Now for the slightly more adventurous, you can try and hit some shots with this. Just with a 9-iron, nothing more than that. All I'm trying to do is get the feeling of the club starting away and through. And I'm keeping my arms together. It makes everything happen in one unit. Obviously, if it comes away going back, I'll drop the towel. Or vice versa going through. If the left side doesn't stay together as you pull round, if the left side goes away, you're going to drop it there. So we'll show you again. Turn everything together. Turn that stomach and through. Nice and gentle. We're not trying to hit the club full distance. We're just trying to use this as a feel.
Well, Nick, I think we've covered every aspect of the golf swing this morning, and I think it's very important for the viewers to realize that although we've split the swing up into pieces, that they've now got to put it together again in one nice smooth package. So why don't you go ahead and hit a few shots for us and we'll see how this is done.
Great.
We'll see the overall rhythm and flow of Nick's golf swing, and although he has worked individually on the pieces, he has now put it all together so he can go out and play with the golf swing. Everything looks very natural. In the beginning, I think when you're making changes in your golf swing, I think you'll find it'll feel very uncomfortable and very unnatural, but after a while these things start to fall into place. See how well balanced Nick is in his swing. Notice how when he finishes with all his weight into his left side, is able to maintain that position too. You find many golfers, when they finish their golf swing, are really not able to hold the position for any length of time at all.
Well, David likes it. Let's take it to the golf course and see what happens.